Good morning, everyone. I'm Rainvanti Rafanan. To continue, I'm going to report quantitative research instrument. What is quantitative research instruments? Quantitative research instruments are tools that collect numerical data from your target population, such as surveys, questionnaires, tests, or scales. These tools are most commonly used in health sciences, social sciences, and education to assess patients, clients, students, teachers, staff, etc. The research instrument is usually determined by researcher and is tied to the study methodology. There are three ways you can consider in developing the research instrument for your study. First is adapting an instrument. This means that you will utilize an instrument that has been used in well-known institutions or reputable studies and publication. However, if the available tests do not generate the exact data that you want to obtain, in this case, you may either modify an existing instrument or create your own instrument. But before utilizing an instrument in a research project, it must be validated and evaluated for reliability and validity. Additionally, permission from the original authors or copyright holders may be required for the researchers to utilize the instrument. And this should be acknowledged in your paper so other researchers know they'll have to do the same. Another important consideration in constructing a research instrument is how to establish its validity and reliability. First, the validity. Validity refers to the extent to which a measurement instrument measures what it is supposed to measure. A measurement instrument is considered valid if it accurately measures the concept of constructs that is intended to measure. In other words, it is a valid instrument that measures what it claims to measure and produces results that are meaningful and relevant to the research question. There are four common types of validity for researchers and evaluators to consider. These are content validity, phase validity, construct validity, criterion-related validity. Content validity measures whether the test covers all the content it needs to provide the outcome you're expecting. Phase validity is concerned with whether the methods used for measurement will produce accurate results rather than the measurement itself. Construct validity. It helps to show how the validity of research is based on different findings. Criterion-related validity is when you compare your results to what you're supposed to get based on a chosen criteria. There are two ways this could be measured: predictive or concurrent validity. Next is the reliability. Reliability refers to the consistency of stability of a measurement over time or across different raters. A measurement instrument is considered reliable if it consistently produces the same results when it is used repeatedly to measure the same thing. In quantitative research, reliability refers to the consistency, stability, and repeatability of results that is the result of a researcher is considered reliable if consistent results have been obtained in an identical situation but different circumstances. Types of reliability. Test, retest. In this method, the same instrument is administered twice to the same group of subjects and the correlation coefficient is determined. Next is the parallel forms. Parallel or equivalent forms of a test may be administered of the group of subjects and the paired observations correlated. Split half. The test in this method may be administered twice, but the test items are divided into two halves. Last one, internal consistency reliability. Looks at the consistency of the score of individual items on an instrument with the scores of a set of items or subscale, which typically consists of several items to measure a single construct. Comeback alpha is one of the most common methods for checking internal consistency reliability. Group variability score reliability, number of items, sample sizes, and difficulty level of the instrument also can impact the comeback alpha value. There are many examples of quantitative research instruments that most common are questionnaires, structured interview, and Likert scale. Let's break them down one by one. Questionnaire. A structured questionnaire is a common tool used in quantitative observation and can be conducted online, by phone, on paper, or face to face. It is made up of a set of standardized questions, usually close-ended, arranged in a standardized interview sequence, and administered to a fixed data sample in order to collect relevant information. In other words, a questionnaire is a method of data gathering that involves gathering information from target groups via a set of questions. You can administer questions physically, or you can create and administer it online using data gathering platforms like Google Forms, Google Analytics, SurveyMonkey, FormPlus, and more. Advantages of questionnaires. Some the advantages of using questionnaire as a research tool include practicality. Questionnaires enable researchers to strategically manage their target audience, questions, and format while gathering large data quantities on any subject. Co- Cost efficiency when administered online. Speed. You can gather survey results quickly and effortlessly using mobile tools, obtaining responses and insight in 24 hours or less. When we say comparability, researchers can use the same questions yearly and compare and contrast research results to gain valuable insights and minimize translation errors. When we say scalability, questionnaires are highly scalable, allowing researchers to distribute them to demographics anywhere across the globe. And next is the respondent comfort. When taking a questionnaire, respondents are completely anonymous and not subject to stressful time constraints. It helping them feel relaxed and encouraging them to provide truthful responses. Easy to analyze easy to analysis. Questions often have built-in tools that automate analysis, making it fast and easy. Questionnaires also have their disadvantages. Answer dishonesty. Respondents may not always be completely truthful with their answers. Some may have hidden agendas, while others may answer how they think society and would them most acceptable. Question skipping. Make sure to require answers for all your survey questions, otherwise you may run the risk of respondents leaving questions unanswered. Interpretation difficulties. If a question isn't straightforward enough, respondents may struggle to interpret it accurately. That's why it's important to state questions clearly and concisely, with explanation when necessary. Survey fatigue. Respondents may experience survey fatigue if they receive too many surveys or a questionnaire is too long. Unconsciousness response. If respondents don't read your questions thoroughly or completely, they may offer inaccurate answers that can impact data validity. You can minimize this risk by making questions as short and simple as possible. Let's go to structured interview. A structured interview is a type of quantitative interview that makes use of a standardized sequence of questioning in order to gather relevant information about a research subject. This type of research is mostly used in statistical investigations and follows a premeditated questions, a sequence. In a structured interview, the researcher creates a set of interview questions in advance, and these questions are asked in the same order so that responses can easily be placed in a similar categories. A structured interview is also known as pattern interview, plan interview, or a standardized interview. Types of structured interview. Face-to-face structured interview. Allow the interviewer to collect factual information regarding the experiences and preferences of the research respondent. It helps the researcher minimize survey dropout rates and improve the quality of data collected, which results in more objective research outcome. Next is the tele-interview, which or the telephone interviews. In this type of interview, the researcher gathers relevant information by communicating with the respondent via a video call or telephone conversation. Teleinterviews are usually conducted in accordance with the standardized interview sequence, as is the norm with structured interviews. It makes use of close-ended questions in order to gather the most relevant information from the interviewee, and it is a method of quantitative observation. Last one is the Likert scale. A Likert scale is an orderly scale from which respondents choose the option that best supports their opinion in a specific topic. A form of closed question and one of the most widely used tools in researching popular opinion. It is named after its inventor, psychologist Ernest Likert, who devised approach in 1932. Likert scale questions use psychometric testing to measure beliefs, attitudes, opinions, or other subject, subjective measures. Likert scales are widely used to measure attitudes and opinions with a greater degree of nuance than a simple yes or no questions. Oftentimes, you will see a scale that includes a series of options ranging from 1 to 10 or from strongly disagree to strongly agree. There are different types of Likert scale. Frequency, quality, likelihood, importance. The Likert scale doesn't have to state agree or disagree. Dozens of variations are possible on themes like agreement, frequency, quality, and importance. For example, in frequency, never, rarely, sometimes, always, often. In quality, poor, fair, good, very good, excellent. In likelihood, ex- extremely unlikely, unlikely, neutral, likely, extremely likely. Importance in importance, not all important, low importance, slightly important, neutral, moderately, moderately important, very important, extremely important. These labels are called Likert scale response anchors. Note that some of the scales also have their own names like frequency scales, or semantic differential scale. Example of Likert scale questions: customer satisfaction surveys. Likert scales can be used in customer satisfaction surveys to determine how customers felt about their experience, a product, or service. Example: how happy were you with your stay at our hotel? Very satisfied, somewhat satisfied, neither satisfied or nor dissatisfied, somewhat dissatisfied, very dissatisfied. In frequency of behavior. If you are looking for how often a consumer purchases a product, takes an action, or spends a certain amount of money, Likert scales can help uncover some of these behaviors. Example: how often do you read articles on your phone? Much more, moderately more, about the same, moderately less, or much less. These are the options. Next, the agreement statement. Perhaps the most popular Likert scale in survey questions is a scale of agreement disagreement, where a respondent is asked to select the answers that best reflects their belief about a statement provided. Example: please select how much you agree or disagree with the following statement. Cats make better pets than dogs. The options are strongly agree, somewhat agree, neither agree nor disagree, somewhat disagree, strongly disagree. The advantages of Likert scale questions in a survey is easy to use. Likert scale survey is a universal method of collecting data or information, which means it is easy to understand and respond. Easy to report. When the survey creator tends to work around quantitative data, it's easier to communicate the respondents' results. Option to answer in neutral. Since a Likert scale survey involves using a scale, respondents can answer in the neutral if they could choose to do so. To do so. So, time-saving survey method. Finally, it's effortless to run these kinds of survey as they are not time-consuming. This is a case study that is related or in line in my report topic. The title is The Quantitative Analysis of Organizational Culture in Occupational Health Research, a theory-based validation in 30 workplaces of the organizational culture profile instrument, and the abstract or the background. This study advances a measurement approach for the study of organizational culture in population-based occupational health research, and tests how different organizational culture types are associated with psychological distress, depression, emotional exhaustion, and well-being. The methods used is data were collected over a sample of 1,164 employees nested in 30 workplaces. Employees completed the 26-item OCP instrument. Psychological distress was measured with the general health questionnaire of 12 items, depression with the Beck Depression Inventory of 21 items, and emotional exhaustion with 5 items from the Maslach Burnout Inventory General Survey. Exploratory factor analysis evaluated the dimensionality of the OCP scale. Multi-level regression models estimated workplace-level variations, and the contribution of organizational culture factors to mental health and well-being are controlling for gender, age, and living with a partner. Results exploratory factors analysis of OCP items revealed 4 factors explaining about 75% of their variance and supported the structure of the competing values framework. Factors were labeled group, hierarchical, rational, and developmental. Convex alpha were high with 0.82 to 0.89. Multi-level regression analysis suggested that the 4 culture types varied significantly between workplaces and correlated with mental health and well-being outcomes. The group culture type best the group culture type best distinguished between workplaces and had the strongest association with the outcomes. And the conclusion of the study is this study provides a strong support for the use of the OCP scale for measuring organizational culture in population-based occupational health research in a way that is consistent with the competing values framework. The group organizational culture needs to be considered as a relevant factor in occupational health studies. Multi-level research and policy could benefit from these findings in efforts to provide a more complete understanding of the influence of organizational culture and business strategy, work design, employee attitudes, behavior, health, and well-being. To wrap up my report, um, quantitative research instruments and of my report of quantitative research instrument, this is my conclusions. Researchers need to be very careful when choosing a quantitative research instrument that fits their research questions and context. Some of the most commonly utilized instruments used in quantitative research are surveys, questionnaires, interviews, and scales. Researchers can use quantitative research instruments that have already been published in scientific journals or make their own from scratch. The most useful instrument is one that is both valid and reliable. Reliable. Using reliable and valid quantitative research instruments can boost the credibility of research findings and aid in developing new research questions and hypotheses. And here's my reference. Um, that's all. Thank you. Thank you for listening.